rowing has become more than a sport. We are down here every single morning, Monday to Friday. I'm here at Queen's to, get my master's degree, but also I'm here to row, and I'm here to get gold medals for my rowing.
Anyone that's been involved in rowing at any level understands the time and the effort and the commitment that is required to do it at the highest level, and ultimately one of the aims of Queen's Rowing is to try and become one of the top rowing programmes in the country. Training has to be quite rigorous and quite intense. I'm Ryan Carney. I'm the Rowing Development Officer here at Queen's. I'm part of our full-time coaching staff, along with John Armstrong, the head coach, and Andy Purdy, our junior pathway coach. Every year we have over 100 athletes involved with rowing at the club, and we compete both across Ireland and the UK. Anyone that gets involved with rowing at Queen's will be part of our sort of development continuum. Which is, a plan from central sport within the university to ensure that our athletes are developing and pushing their boundaries to be the best they possibly can be. And from an early stage, even in the beginner program, that means that athletes will be taking part in 6 or 7 sessions per week, whether that be 4 or 5 times out on the water, and a couple of land-based sessions on the ergo in the gym, that sort of stuff. The ergo, we spend very little time on the ergo compared to some programs, but the sessions that we do on there are, they're vigorous, they're long, they're hard, they're tough, and anyone that does the sport knows how tough those sessions can be.
They are an opportunity for you to actually put down some real power and effort. If you do them, you will get better. Hi, John Armstrong, head coach, rowing, Queen's Sport. I think Queen's Rowing is a combination of performance, community, history, tradition, innovation, excitement, success. As head coach, my goals, I suppose, for the club would be to increase the size of the club, to improve the overall standard and age of the boat fleet, to keep pushing the best people, guys and girls, to achieve their potential while making it as accessible as possible for as many people as possible. Last year would have counted as a very successful season for the club overall. We had 8 medals at BUCS Head of the River. We had 15 medals at BUCS Regatta, which placed us 3rd in the medal table overall, behind Reading and Brooks. The men's club proceeded to win their first national senior championship in an all-Queen's crew since 1962, I think, which was fairly historic. And the guys won the Quad Scull. We also made a semi-final at Henley. And we had reasonably good success with a number of semi-finalists at Women's Henley. The biggest challenge for any organisation is repeating success. It's very easy to sit back and go, yes, we did it last year, we're going to do it this year. Personnel change, people change, lots of different varieties. Ultimately, you need to look at why were we successful last year, and then make sure we are doing the same things and improving on those things.
tension off the back. That's good. Well done. Go on. Holding the blade in better. Georgia, good. Well done. Don't get back too high. Just enough to bury the spoon.
Leg angle. Okay? So the big thing is to try not to let the handles do that after you square the blade. Keep them up, bring the blade closer to the water. Even just keep them level will be enough. So your blade is a little bit closer to the water when you try to put it in, make the front end a bit sharper. Georgia, you don't need to lift quite as much. Just put the blade in the water. That. Just in the arms, keep the body still. The head, chin up, chest up, there to place the blade. We're trying to do that. So the blade's going quite deep. If you bury more than the spoon, it acts like a brake.
Challenges we face here at Queen's is that we run a large club. You know, we have over 100 members, and trying to get them all out on the water and get them quality coaching is really quite challenging at times. I think one of the things that we're actually doing really well, particularly across our beginner squad, is giving them a real clear focus, not just for an individual session, but for a week or a 2-week period where actually a specific crew is going out and focusing on, you know, a specific part of the stroke, whether that be the front end, the back end, the recovery sequence, to give them a real clear focus for their development.
I want to think about keeping the outside arm straight and trying to press the foot plate away from you a little bit more, okay? Isolate, lock, be rigid, and then step off it, okay? For as long as we can, really use that leg drive, okay?
At this point, we are a couple of weeks out from BUCS Head of the River in Newcastle, which is our first real opportunity to test our speed and to see if we can reap the benefits of our winter's training. Following on from that, we will head to Lagan in County Leitrim to do some seat racing and selection ahead of our training camp in Banyoles, Spain, before finishing off with the big one in May in Nottingham, the British University's Regatta.
My name's Tim Porteous. I'm a master's student here at Queen's studying climate change. I'm one of the lightweight men in the senior men's squad, and I've been rowing for 10 years. So I started rowing when I was 14 at Runcorn Rowing Club. I rowed there as a junior, primarily sculling, and then I've moved around to a couple different clubs since then, down in London at Lee Rowing Club, across in the northeast Tyne Rowing Club, and now I'm here at Queen's. And I think I've come to Queen's, to do my masters, but this is my 1 year essentially to try uni rowing, to essentially put all my eggs in this basket and just see how far I can push myself. But we're about a month away from BUCS Head now, and I am pretty confident that I can, the crews are basically set, and I've managed to get myself into the A boats for the fore and the quad. It's a very competitive environment that we're in. There was, seat racing to decide those seats, and now it's just about fine-tuning and sharpening up all our skills, all our technique, to make sure on the day we can put our best blades in.
Okay, so obviously they've made a decision to cancel Sunday. I know they sort of held on as long as they possibly could to make a decision on it, and ultimately the weather is dangerous and definitely unrowable, so it is the right decision to make. You will marshal on 2 banks. There's a north bank and a south bank, and basically everyone will line up in number orders with bows into the stream. Okay,
if you're gonna take a quarter a bit more safe out of any of them, make sure it's that one, because you will beach otherwise.
And then obviously through the finish line, go through the Newburn Bridge and return to Tyne, straight boating off.
Everyone is working so hard towards achieving their own personal goals and the goals of their crews that, if something goes wrong during a session, or if someone maybe sleeps in or doesn't turn up, things can get a little bit tense.
Come on, guys, get a move on. Gert, push off.
Yes, come on, let's go.
It's really important to not let that carry through to the race day itself.
That final session before you go away to a big race or a big event is always a difficult one. I think there's a lot of nerves, a lot of people become very tetchy, and I think there's a lot of nervous energy flying around the camp. So often what you'll find is that people maybe don't have the session they were hoping for, or things don't quite go to plan, and that can be very frustrating, but it's just important that people sort of trust the process.
My name is Michelle Taylor. I study a BSc in Business Management with Placement. I'm a coxswain here at Queen's Rowing, and I'm originally from South Carolina in the United States. So I originally started rowing at 18 when I did a year at the College of Charleston in South Carolina in the States. Our novice program there was very small, so I was actually a rower there, sat 2-seat in the 8. And then I came to Queen's. Our lightweight program here is quite competitive, so I made the decision to switch to coxing. And this is my second year being a coxswain for Queen's. I work primarily with the novice men's coxed 4 and the novice men's 8, which I'll be taking and coxing at BUCS Head.
Moving on, keep sitting up.
The plate just before, just after the pit.
We're both throwing smoke into the night. It's raining, I suppose you need a ride.
Just finished up last session before BUCS Head 2025, packing a trailer. Good buzz about the place, people excited, ready to go racing. See how the winter's hard work is hopefully going to pay off.
I overheard that she was 19. She's got a fake ID and a nose ring. Those kind of girls tend to know things better than I do. And I'm dying to figure out what she's hiding. Just playing it cool, but she's lying better than I do.
So time to weigh in. It's just before 8:15 now, so we're getting there a little bit early, but hoping we can skip the queue, get weighed in, and just get refueled. So if it goes to plan, we should be grand.
Okay, bit of a long day yesterday. Not ideal with the bus breaking down, but we're here, boat's rigged. So it's about just putting our feet up, getting a bit of fuel in, getting a bit of hydration in. Yeah, preparation's gone well, so it's now just about getting ourselves in the right mental frame to go and execute that in the race this morning. Okay, so go and get off your feet, go and relax, and then we'll have a little bit of a chat around strategy and what we're trying to do a little bit closer to boating. Okay.
A big part of rowing is on the race day, keeping relaxed, keeping things loose and controlled, and not letting that tension get in your head. Those first few strokes off the finish line, it's so important to stay relaxed, to stay loose.
We're waiting on Kings, Northumbria, York B and Manchester B.
After we just finished the BUCS Head race, we had a look at the results, and as at that moment we were in the lead, but we didn't know if that was going to hold because not all the boats had finished rowing. So we were sat waiting in real anticipation, just waiting for that result to come in.
The girls. Yeah, we said at the start of the year that we had a couple of big hitters in the group at the start of the year, and ultimately the entire time I've said we will work with what's in front of us. We'll work with the guys that are here and buy into it, and ultimately, regardless of what this turns out to be, we've done that, and I think that's to be proud of.
Medalists in the Open Beginner 8, which goes to Queen's University. University Belfast. Queen's University Belfast. Kelsey Crown.
Okay, yeah, BUCS Head, fairly successful. I win in the beginner men's 8, and then bronze and 4th in the beginner women's 8. You know, momentous achievement. You know, real elation for the lads, and they came out of it straight away very motivated to continue to push on and continue the development. I think the girls came out of it and, you know, had to take a couple of days to sort of understand what they need to do to ensure that they maintain that bronze medal, but you know they're looking to try and step on towards silver and gold come BUCS Regatta.
So obviously I was really excited winning the gold at BUCS Head. Mixed feelings the day after, you know, we've won that, but it was you know, not the full story, not the full year yet. So just knowing that we've got to keep the foot on the gas. So that's exciting, but also, you know, gotta knuckle down, buckle up, and get the work on. We're in Lagan today. This is the closest 2K course to us with boys. So we're racing in straight lines down 2 kilometers. Today we are doing a bit of seat racing. So the coaches are switching people in and out of boats to find the fastest combinations. So we're trying to set up some of the crews that we're going to be training over the next few months at training camp and looking towards BUCS Regatta.
We are in a different venue than we used to rowing. We don't know the lake. You do not row up the course in any lane that direction, ever. I will be in the over there on the finish pontoon. When you finish, the lightweights or anybody, we are doing rotations and swaps. Do not just paddle off into the sunset. Wait until you know what your rotation is. Paddle into the slip, make the change. By the time the first block, which is the lightweight men rowing and the beginner men are doing the 1K block, time they are finishing, the second block should be getting on the water and warming up. Well, the first start was supposed to be 9:30. It's going to be 9:45. I'll give you 35 minutes, half an hour to warm up. I can give you a pause. Okay, so let's get going.
We do have to have individuals compete against each other for places in a boat. Within rowing, that's known as seat racing, is extremely challenging, challenging event both mentally and physically, especially because athletes are often competing against some of their best friends for seats in the boat. You know, people work so hard, they're up at 5:30 every morning, getting themselves down to the boathouse, doing a 2-hour session before they head off to lectures, and the fact that can, you know, all the hard work comes down to, you know, one day where they're tested against other athletes to figure out who earns the seat in what boat. You know, it can be really tough. It was a stroke side seat race. Donica against Rory. Donica won, which means you'll keep your place in the 8 moving forward. On the flip side of that, it can also be extremely exciting because it's at that moment where we are doing that testing where we start to see the true speed of different crews and different combinations.
A couple of weekends ago was BUCS Head. We raced the 4 and the quad. We got the silver and the bronze. Felt like we gave it a really good run. And then the weekend after that was seat racing. I think going into seat racing, there's always a lot of emotions. You feel very tense. You don't know what to expect. You're kind of all these guys you've worked so hard together with in the season, and now you're suddenly going head to head. Can feel like a lot of pressure. For me, it didn't quite go my way. We did a doubles matrix at Lagan where we kind of essentially swapped each other out over various combinations on a 1K course. The effective decision was that I was then no longer in the top quad. I think the thing I've kind of got to remind myself now is that, you know, this isn't the final decision. I spoke to John briefly about maybe doing a pair with Cameron, which is a boat neither of us have really done before. So we're just going to see how it goes, though.
Conan Padzaya, Bachelor of Science in Human Biology on the senior men's team and on the elite athlete program. So I started rowing in 2017 and in Switzerland. So back in the day, it was more of a casual approach to rowing. In the year of 2020, in the second half of the year, I came over to Belfast and was doing quite well as a lightweight. In 2 months, I went from a 6:35 2K to 6:17 in 2 months. With that, John Armstrong kind of thought it might be a good idea for me to try lightweight for the Rowing Ireland. After that, I had to go back to Switzerland, unfortunately, because on my gap year I had to do military service for Switzerland. But after the military service, I gained a lot of muscle mass, and John and I had a chat and decided that the best option would be for me to go heavyweight. I wasn't even thinking I was going to make the heavyweight squad in Rowing Ireland because I was only transitioning, and through training and through just hard work really, I managed to go to under 23s in a double with Brian, and we were lucky enough to medal actually at the under 23 World Championships. So after that I decided to, in the second half of the year, move down to Cork because I thought it would be the best decision for me moving forward, trying to secure a spot for the Paris Olympics. While I was still full-time down at the rowing centre training for the Olympics, I was also training for under 23s. And that year, after the bronze medal, we were able to secure the gold for Ireland, which was the first gold at under 23 level that Ireland's ever got in an Olympic boat class. So like my motivation comes from habit really. If I'm in an environment where I can be consistent in whatever I'm doing, whether it's university, whether it's rowing, it really helps me stay in a straight line. I am also a very competitive being, like I'm not gonna lie. I don't like being beat. I don't like coming second. And I like to be at the top all the time, so yeah.
The ultimate erg test is obviously the 2K, which we do periodically, November, January, March, and sometimes for some it will be in June. If you perform well, the whole coaching team, know that you have done the training, that you have the ability to produce a output, a wattage, measures your engine size, measures how hard you can push yourself, tells us how hard you've pushed yourself previously, because there should be a gradual improvement over time in your 2K if you do the training.
The day of the 2K, you can sense the nerves. There's an atmosphere around the boathouse. It's quite different from any other sort of normal training day. Doing 2K on the erg is just a different beast altogether. Not only is it a physical battle, you're fighting against your legs the whole time not to give out, but it's also a mental battle.
Once our selection process has taken place, which is a number of factors, both technical, physical, and some of the data from seat race and all get taken into account. It is a holistic view that we do take on selection. The only way that someone can potentially earn themselves another seat race is if they do excel in their pre-camp 2K test. So there is a lot of pressure on the 2K test that will be coming up.
I was broke smoking from a young age, taking my soak into the masses, writing my poems for the few that look at me, took to me, shook at me, feeling me, singing from heartache, from the pain, taking my message from the veins, speaking my lesson from the brain, seeing the beauty through the
Attention!
Go!
Okay? What you got?
Okay, as you can see, a few members of staff from Options have come down this morning to, ahead of regatta season, ahead of training camp, give you guys a bit of a gift. As part of the renewed sponsorship, that we agreed there back in December, January time, part of that was that we wanted to make sure that the sponsorship was directly impacting you guys, that you guys were seeing a physical benefit to the sponsorship. Options have purchased every individual that will be competing at BUCS Regatta or the Irish Championships a Queen's Rowing Options base layer.
This partnership has made such a difference to everyone rowing at Queen's every year with their continued support. Athletes at all levels have their development supported with commitment, innovation and teamwork. Through this partnership, Options are continuing to invest in local talent, forming excellence in both the sport and the community. It's an invaluable experience that would be difficult to achieve without them.
In the past, I was a lightweight rower at the boat club. We've got 3 major events coming up. We've got our training camp in Bagnoles, we've got the British University Championships, and we've got the Irish Championships in the summer as well. The fact that Options is able to help sponsor these events is massive. It's super beneficial to everybody in the club. It takes a lot of the pressure off of the athletes, and it actually gives the boat club a lot of momentum to build towards these events as well.
Training camp's really important. It's a great opportunity where everybody's in the same place at the same time to get crews out consistently. It's a 2K straight course, which is something we don't have the privilege of having in Northern Ireland, or in Belfast at least. So it's good to sort of practice racing starts, race plans, good technique on a straight course before we go and compete at BUCS Regatta.
Really important, I don't want to have to repeat this during the week. The circulation pattern on any international course is key to avoiding accidents. There is a circulation pattern. You must not break the circulation pattern, okay? Second thing is, don't get bloody sunburned on day one, because it will make the rest of your week miserable, okay? Put your fucking sun cream on. It is not cool to walk around looking like a fucking tomato, okay? Right, let's get on the water. 20k, it's 5 loops. Let's get used to the boat. If there's any setup issues with boats, any riggers are loose, we'll have some tools in the launch. Your coxes will have some tools. Fix them. If there's any big problems, we sort them out after the session. Right, the seniors, get your oars down, and then we can think about getting on the water.
Mais outra vez apresentar.
It's day 2 and we're currently doing seat racing to try and find the fastest combination of crews ready for BUCS, champs, heli women's, all that jazz. So it's going to be done over 6 1500s. We're doing a set in the morning, set in the afternoon, so it's going to be pretty hard. I think it'll be interesting for the novices, they've never done this before, and then also some of the seniors, it'll be the first time doing it. So it should be fun.
Okay, so we have the women's 4, the women's pair, and the women's single in heat 1. Conan and Co in heat 2. Then the men's lightweight quads in heat 3. The 2 men's 8s, beginner 8 and novice 8 and inter 8 in heat 4.
Knowing that, you know, the seat race in the doubles matrix didn't go my way for the quad, it does feel like, you know, there's that question in my mind, you know, what if it doesn't go my way again in Bagnoles?
Come forward. Attention.
I'm not one to keep a paper in the dark when we're making these decisions. So, Rick, well, you saw the actual times. Yeah, so they worked it out when I sort of put all the time together and worked at it. If I look at the first 2 pieces, Tim was in Dusty. Tim's combined prod was 170. Luke's defined prod was 163. It's a gap of 6.05. Second, Faulkner pieces. Luke was in Dusty, Tim was in the Falcon. Luke's combined prod was 166, Tim's was 164, so the gap was 1.04%. I mean, it was fairly clear-cut that Tim was going in the boat.
And it feels kind of bittersweet, I think, because yes, I've had a good day and I've got my seat back, but it is competing against teammates at the end of the day. And in the lightweight squad, we are all quite close, so having to kind of pit yourself against your teammates and get yourself in that mentality can be challenging.
Let's say just Queen's rowing is not only just about being competitive, it's also about improving yourself on and off the water and being with your mates and just hanging out. It's a real good opportunity for people to socialise with people, especially in university. It can get tough sometimes, and I feel like it's a good break.
It was a strong social aspect in the club. You know, it's not just about the rowing. Although we do work hard, we also have a bit of fun along the way.
You know, at Queen's we get people in from all different backgrounds, all different walks of life, and a big part of what we're trying to do is actually create a development continuum, not just from a sporting perspective, but also from a personal perspective. And you know, one of the most rewarding things is seeing someone grow and develop over their time at Queen's and push them to be not just a better athlete, but a better person, and you know, learn the transferable skills that, you know, rowing brings.
So I'm really excited to finally get to properly race in the quad and the 4 after it being cancelled for BUCS Head, which was really disappointing. So this is our first opportunity to really show what work we've been doing and how much we've developed over the year. And we're hoping to build on our performance at BUCS Head and hopefully get a gold in our 8 and a medal in both the 4 and the quad as well.
I think we have a huge opportunity to dominate the novice events. I think we have some fantastic opportunities to produce good results at lightweight. I think we will definitely have some success at the very top end of championship sculling.
Okay, right, thanks for coming. I will make this as quick as possible. This year's instructions aren't out yet, so We're working off last year's BUCS Regatta instructions. I struggle to decompress from time to time. I think I care a lot about rowing, I care a lot about the athletes that I'm working with. You know, my partner would definitely say that I spend far too long talking about rowing each and every single day. So I do definitely feel a pressure, and I think given the success we had at BUCS Head and you know the aim to try and push ourselves on into BUCS Regatta and that continuous development process, yeah, I do feel a lot of pressure, and you know I feel responsible as well. So you know if we don't get the results that we're after, you know I do take a big chunk of that burden. So you know nerves are natural, nerves are good, and you have to channel nerves and that pressure in the right way. You know I don't think anyone sits on the start line of any race if they don't feel any sort of pressure, any sort of nerves. Then you know they probably haven't worked hard enough for it and probably don't care enough about it. Right, it's time. Work's done, training's done, pressure's on. Now's the opportunity. BUCS Regatta 2025. Let's see what damage we can do.
Welcome to BUCS Regatta 2025, where we will see crews from universities all around the UK battle it out over the next 4 days.
Just arrived at BUCS Regatta, just unloading the trailer behind me, getting ourselves set up, getting camp set, ready for an exciting few days of racing.
Planning and logistics that we have to do because we're coming from further afield. Everybody knows what their job is on the day, and that goes right from me as head coach down to newest member of the club. Everybody knows their job.
Today I'm racing the Champ Double with Fergus Bryce in about half an hour, and looking forward to it. It'll be good to see what speed we can produce in the time trial. And our afternoon race is what, at 4 o'clock?
4 o'clock, yeah. For the final.
If we do well enough here now, we will get through to the final without having to go through the wet. So gas is on for this one.
How quick are you gonna get up? Everybody gets knocked down. Everybody gets knocked down. How quick are you gonna get up? Just how are you gonna get up? Like Ali in the jungle, like Nelson in jail, like Simpson on the mountain. With odds like that, they were bound to fail, like Keller in the darkness.
Alright, so we just finished the time trial there. We're fastest overall, so that means we're straight through to the final now. So we're getting rested up. Finals in 4 hours. We're in a good spot to win this one.
To bring the first medal race of the weekend to you, it will be the beginner singles.
For you, it's about getting out the blocks hard, getting the blocks clean, and control the race. You want to get out there and dictate. Okay, get out ahead of the other opposition, sit up tall, and then enjoy it. Okay. The single itself is a really challenging discipline because yes, it's extremely physical, but also there is nowhere to hide. It's a mental game, you know, especially when you're down on the opposition, to have the levels of resilience required to fight back. And you know, particularly in the beginner singles, there's so many errors that occur. That a race is never over until they're through the finish line, and Donica having to just stick it out in the middle 1,000 where maybe the race wasn't going his way. But the fact that he was able to just lean on, you know, the technical element of his sculling, which, you know, guided him through to a fantastic silver medal.
Race 128, Open Championship Lightweight Double Sculls, Final A.
I always find that once I'm attached to the stake boat, I'm visualising my first stroke, making sure it's clean, making sure my blades are in the water, waiting for that attention go. It's a feeling like nothing else. Waiting for that split second between the attention and the buzz. Your heart is racing, but you're also trying to stay so focused on your own boat.
Nottingham, Reading, Queen's Belfast, Uri, Birmingham, Sussex. Attention.
By the halfway point we were maybe a bow down on them, but we were very confident in our mid-race pace because it's always been very, very strong. Sort of last 500 we were already a length up, and from there it was just the running to the line. But when we crossed that line, it felt amazing. Like, all our hard work had paid off because we've been in this for like 2 years now. So everything came together when it needed to, just through all our training, and it was great.
Good first day, gold, 2 silver medals, more than happy. 3 more days to go, so hopefully we'll add to that total.
So day 2 BUCS Regatta, there's a lot of us racing today. It feels like, you know, yesterday was a warm-up and today is the big day. Everyone's racing. We've got the champ singles, inter-singles, inter-men's 8s. Novices have got the women's quads and the men's cox 4s. Then we've got the lightweight pairs and the women's lightweight doubles, women's pairs and champ lightweight singles. So it's all going on, and I think there's a lot of anticipation in the air. Everyone's, you know, feeling pretty ready. A few nerves, but I think it's just like everyone's ready to go now. We're ready to see what we can do.
Came first in the time trial. Delighted.
Finding out we were the fastest pair in the time trial was a crazy moment. I was in the middle of getting changed when the results came in, and Cameron just shouted through the tent, Tim, we came first, like we were the quickest pair. And having all that work in the pair where we really weren't sure where we were, and then knowing that we're actually in the A final and firmly feeling like we had a genuine shot at a medal was so energising.
I was just saying, looking at the time trial results, it's all very tight amongst that top group. It's also a tailwind. It makes it really difficult to make a move because it's sort of a headwind will sort of spread everybody, but a tailwind can press everybody. Yeah. So I suggest if you've got it in you, be really quite ballsy early on, 600-700 metres out, and fucking go early and see if we can make a move, get some clear water, and it'll be very hard for people to change that up. Okay? Right, have a good one.
So I think with it being our first race of BUCS Regatta and our first final, and knowing we'd come first in a time trial, there was a lot of pressure. It was kind of, you know, expected that we were going to be hitting those medal positions.
And by the looks of it on your screens, you can see that it's actually Nottingham who have come through first.
Took a brief glance over about 100, 200 metres in, and we were definitely near the end of the pack. in that next 500 metres, we somehow then found ourselves fighting for that top spot. Coming into that last 250 metres, you hear the roar of the crowd, you've got nothing left and you're pushing as hard as you can. And, you know, receiving our medals, seeing everyone there from the club cheering us on, was really, really, really special. What was then challenging was, it turns out that we'd been awarded the silver medal and it was actually we'd got the bronze instead. There was some kind of technical issue with the photo finish on the finish line. And so we then had to go swap our medals with the Surrey pair.
The Sunday at BUCS Regatta saw Molly Curry complete in the women's intermediate single. I think where Molly's come from this season, you know, a winter riddled with injury, you know, a lot of time out of the boat, to show the resilience, to get herself back fit again, you know, work hard in the gym to make sure that her recovery goes well. To, you know, standing on the top step of the podium, I think is a testament to Molly's hard work and her dedication.
So we just finished the time trial here. They raced really well, stuck to the race plan, really loose, relaxed, calm, went through the tiers, really good boat speed and really working conditions.
Okay boys, yeah, good performance, 34s to be 500, 39, second 500, 34s again, last 500, well executed, did fairly clean row in the conditions. I think second 500 we maybe just need to have a little bit more pinch around the front, I think we were maybe a little bit loose just as we went to place the blade. Yeah, good performance, I'm sure that'll be more than enough to get us through. So now it's just about recovery, start fueling up, getting ourselves ready to go. Due to a medical emergency down at the course, the semi-finals and repechage has been cancelled on the Sunday BUCS Regatta. That means that moving forward we're going to go straight to A-finals, which means we have plenty of medal opportunities coming up across both senior men, senior women, novice men and novice women. So yeah, let's see what happens for a fun afternoon of racing ahead. I think in the beginner women's 4, we always knew that Surrey were going to go out hard, they were going to attack us from the get-go, and that's exactly as they did.
In, there, sit up, in, there, sit up.
You know, we'd sort of discussed beforehand that we just have to weather the storm in the first 500, first 750, and you know, we stayed calm and stayed relaxed. You know, the girls listened to John Hart and trusted him.
The time to believe, time to take deep. Yeah, that's the 3-1, break them now. On the knees, send the feet, that's the 2 women.
And we were able to just work back and inch back, you know, quite literally taking inch by inch in that second 1,000 to finally hit the front with 50 metres to go.
You're a pink pony girl, and you dance at the club, oh mama. I'm just having fun on the stage in my heels. It's where I belong, down at the Pink Pony Club.
A final in Novice 8, we knew based on how the time trial had gone and how we had raced against other crews in the 4 the day before that we were probably going to be down off the start.
People are aware that we're quite quick, and you know, we in the men's 8, we are the people to beat at the moment, so there is that added pressure, and I think, you know, everyone's starting to feel that now.
And on the course now, we have the A final of the Open Beginner 8s. UCL, Nottingham, Imperial, Liverpool, Queens and Surrey A, and they are away.
And by the 500 metre, I say they had a bid on us. They were in the lead.
Seeing the men's 8 down, I can't actually remember, maybe Surrey broke contact with us and had clear water at one point, or maybe we just stayed in touch. You know, we knew they were going to race the first 1,000 really hard and really aggressive, and you know, there was a point where I thought, ah shit, is this going to be it?
We started getting towards the kilometre when we started needing to move up the field in order to medal. That's when I told the boys that we were going to go for it. We were going to start stepping through our tiers.
Right, coming up. Ready? Now. Stay clean.
We started to just inch back and sort of grew in confidence. And
1500 metres in, we overtook Surrey. We broke them, we got through them. We crossed the line with clear water.
It was fantastic to become, you know, two-time national champions and remain undefeated at BUCS in the 8, which is fantastic. And I think that's testament to the hard work of the squad, and you know, the fact that the day prior we were able to get silver and bronze in the Cox 4, you know, shows that we didn't just have 4 or 5 talented guys. We had, you know, 8 guys that were really working for it.
Queen's A.
Bye.
Attention.
Good.
The beginner women's 8 on the Monday was the most emotional race for me. I really struggled on the start line. I think it was the one category for me that we'd worked extremely hard for, and I think having come 3rd in the 8 at BUCS Head, I think I knew how much the girls and John wanted to overturn that, and wanted to overturn Surrey and Edinburgh, and you know, turn that result into a gold.
South through the finish. Nice spin. Get the intensity sharp.
Gave Surrey 2 lengths in the 4 the day before. We sort of said that, you know, we can't allow them to have that much of a lead in the 8.
Tall and long. Yeah, back on the Cox of Surrey.
The Surrey 8 started to flag. We were able to, you know, see the cracks, which I think really gave us a boost and gave us momentum.
Yes!
The fact that we were able to secure a victory in both beginner 8s, I think really shows testament to the strength, the depth, but also the camaraderie within the programme.
The conditions have taken a turn for the worse. So there's a lot of nerves going into the quad. It was our big event. It was the one we've kind of been practicing all year for, and the one where we kind of said, this is where we want to get our gold medal.
We all found out yesterday it gets a bit messy down here. So the way to keep your boat going fast in rough water is to be clean. This camera up there, front load the race. Go to the 750 mark as fast as you can.
We'd had a chat with John beforehand about the conditions, and the tailwind was so strong and it was kind of more sheltered up at the top of the course compared to the bottom of the course. So our plan was essentially to go guns blazing in that race. That first 1K, we were going to give it everything we had. We had a strong start. We were kind of up on a couple of boats right from the start, pushing into medal position. It got to the 1K mark and the conditions just didn't seem to bother us as much as they had in the time trial. I think I didn't even realise until about 200 metres from the finish line that we were suddenly in first place, and then it suddenly got very real that we actually had a real shot of winning this. Crossing that finish line, knowing we'd had clear water on Nottingham was so special. knowing that we'd taken that gold and everything we'd worked for had paid off was amazing.
I think BUCS Regatta 2025, looking back, was a real step forward on our development continuum. I think, you know, it really showcased the development that's taken place at all levels of the club, from beginner all the way up to championship level. We are ultimately trying to be the best in the business at this. There's a lot of good clubs and good programs out there now, but I think the fact that we are able to be competing at the top level of that, coming second in the medal table, I think reaffirms our status as one of the top rowing universities in the country.
I'll never get used to this. This is how I want to live.
Probably more impressive than the medal haul was the number of boats that we put into the points in the back end of A finals and B finals that we hadn't had before, on top of the medals. First time we've had a girls heavyweight sweep boat in a B final for quite a long time. I saw some class racing and commitment to rowing in the minor finals. And I think that says a lot about the state of the club, that people actually are prepared to go out. Doesn't matter if it's a D or an E final, and really put their heart and soul into it.
While winning is important, it's not the be-all and end-all. I think the more important thing, and I think the thing we have seen across the year, is actually the development of individuals, whether that be athletically or, you know, from a personal standpoint as well. It is just as important. I think a big thing for me is that, yes, winning is great, and we had a lot of success and a lot of wins, but also the fact that we've been able to see those individuals as a part of that grow and develop and take themselves to the next level is what's really, really rewarding about this process, because we are a stepping stone for our athletes, and we want our athletes to go on to achieve great things, you know, when they leave Queen's, and that's all basically what our development continuum is about, and I think that in itself is really important and something that we pride ourselves on and should continue to.
I was down but now I'm up, yeah. This all God, this ain't no lie, yeah. I used to be stuck in that mud, whoa. Yeah, I was down but now I'm up. I was down but now I'm up. Let's go, yeah. This all God,